Today I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups.
Martial arts involves energy medicine. Energy medicine's been studied for 20 years, and you're about to see it. The reason you're going to see it is because it's free. You know, you want to control somebody's high blood pressure. Medication is a piece of it, but slow breathing and meditation is another piece. And this is something insurance companies love because they only pay you to learn it. They don't have to pay for it every month.
A typical day is about 4:30, 5 in the morning. I get up, I go to we call it our Ernie station, where we have a nice kitchen, and I freshly make the food. I make the food every day, every morning. If we're making ribs that day, I start those early. We load up. We have 2 locations. We have a stand in front of the courthouse. So in front of the courthouse, we do different things there, and I try to have both up and operating by 9 a.m.
I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. So I'm trained in tap, jazz, ballet, African, hip hop, a little bit of break dancing, modern. And dance was just my passion my whole life. And then when it came to college, my parents told me dance was not a career. So going to school for any kind of interview or dance thing was not going to happen. So I went and got a regular degree in psychology, and then I continued to dance. I just think you have to like support a child in those things, but also if you're building them up as an artist, you're also giving them tools to be a really good person. So they'll be successful in whatever job or whatever career they choose.
Come give me a word. Catherine? Perfect. Beautiful. You can write it or draw it. You don't have to write. You can draw.
My family and I came to this country 16 years ago. We came here for a better life, for education, to seek employment. Right now, it's my time to give back to my community. I do appreciate all the work that the community did for me when my family and I first came here. But now it's time for us to give back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I came here to this country knowing no language, being in a new place. I can really relate to those kids. So basically, I'm giving back to them, and I tell my kids every day, if I can make it, you can make it too.
These hands, quicker than the eyes sometimes, fly when having fun and should be registered as deadly weapons, whether Arabic or Roman. Numerals just numerous enough to touch the sun. But if I dial the sun back, touch the grains I go against, the sand cuts to the quick of my fingertips, slipping through cracks in my hand. I never planned to be empty-handed when I drew this line in the sand, the shape of lazy eights. I watch timepieces like dimes and figures my mouth delivers rivers, time killed, ink spilled, and irreversible broken dishes. Measure wisdom with experience, buried treasures, just deserts of deserts, countless castles on the shores of time for what it's worth. Now, how can one drowned man come around and grandstand? Name it better than nouns can. Thou sand, thou sand, thou sand.
In order to really succeed in life, it shouldn't be a fear-driven life. You shouldn't be afraid of something and running away from it. I think you should be running towards something. We live in one of the most fortunate countries in the world where it's really, really hard to hit bottom as so low as it is in some other countries. But if you really do every day what you believe in, what you really want to achieve in life, then this is what's important for the entire world.
I'm never one to fit a pattern that keeps on holding. And all these ceilings that I've shattered, but I keep on going. I'm far from the edge of what I can do. Till there's nothing left, I keep on till I break through.
Business is similar to driving a ship out in a dark ocean. There is no stars, there's no moons, there's no nothing. There's no land. There's not even, let me tell you, there's not even a compass, okay? You're driving and you're just looking for land, you know, and you're looking for some light. And now as we're driving the ship, I'm seeing flickers of light ahead, when before I had seen nothing but pitch blackness out there.
You cannot be thin-skinned. You know, you have to continue no matter what people say, no matter how much they may hurt your feelings. You just have to keep pushing forward. And for me, that was extremely important. I started this when I was just out of college, and really I had no idea what the real world was like. And so for me personally, that's what I would say I gained. And for others, I've got to look at it as that I've shown them that there can be this really high quality, high-end Pilates studio in small town Erie, Pennsylvania. Everyone is always saying how Erie has nothing, it stinks, there's nothing to be offered. Well, guess what? There really is. There's quite a bit here.
My intention for teaching yoga in Erie is that for me, only good can come from people relaxing and reducing stress. And so my part, my intention or part in trying to make Erie a better place to live is to support people in reducing stress.
Maintain and persevering, clock's ticking, I never hear it. Stuck with a tunnel vision, like shining at the ending, pushing off all the weight. 1,000 is all it takes. The brain is the strongest muscle, no matter what man has made. Modern days of age, modern days of slave. Never doubting about my talents, God given the gift of balance. Open wide both my eyelids, greeting the sun that rises. In this moment, starting to see those gems is priceless.
I wanted to use my business to affect my community. I noticed that a lot of kids went to school and they wasn't fully prepared for the beginning of school, as far as having a haircut, a backpack with the necessary things they needed to start school. So maybe your parents couldn't afford new clothes, like my single mom could, right? And I wanted to figure out a way to help the kids understand how important school was and to help them get started in the initial stages. So I believe that if you look good, you can feel good, eventually maybe you will apply yourself and try to do good. So that's how the back to school free haircut started. I just used my salon. We started in there. I think the first year I did 30, 40 people, and now we do over 1,000, 12 years later.
You have to step out of the box. You have to step out of your comfort zone to know what your purpose in life is. Like I said, I'm antisocial. I get social anxiety. But you've been to my events. 200, 300, 400 people. Celebrate Erie 1,000, middle of it, right? Talk to like 100 people, you know, talking. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone because I see that if I'm out there, I'm able to help people. And just maybe, right? If I step out of my comfort zone to help other people, to send a message, just maybe there's a kid there that also doesn't like being in a crowd. that would understand that if you step out of your box, that you can be anything you want to be, anything. You can be a police officer, you can be a lawyer, you can be a fireman, but you have to step out of the box. You have to step out of your comfort zone.
The biggest draw is meshing my love with being in the outdoors and then the beauty of like the human figure and mixing those two together to hopefully get people in this area to come out and explore the beauty that surrounds them. Because the thing with Erie is everybody is so jaded by the immense beauty that surrounds us, like they don't realize and they take it for granted, so they don't enjoy it. Erie is difficult, but if you guys stay here, like we can make it happen. I mean, I believe in this area. It's why I haven't left yet. I mean, I've had offers to go to bigger cities, but like I say, why leave the place that inspires us to create in the first place?
This could be better than the best. This could be something to protest. Please don't think that I respect you less. Deep down, we're all grotesque.
I'm just so thankful that I ended up coming back home to our community here after being a vagabond for 20 years and relocating back here 10 years ago. It's actually just my 10-year anniversary, and I never dreamed that this would be the place that I would settle down in, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else right now at this exact moment in my life. My issue has always been a kitchen, a space, a legal space to run my business from. So myself and several other different chefs and food entrepreneurs, that's always been our main issue, is finding a location to work from.
It's a male-dominated industry, and there's a lot more like women chefs now, but when I started cooking, like everything was like all male French chefs. There was no like women who were opening restaurants and putting out menus that were like badass. It was all men, and even especially when I lived in New York, it was, unless you were in the pastry department, it was all men. And there's a lot of like, oh, you're a girl here, like we'll give you like the easy stuff to do, or like they didn't think that I could keep up with them a lot.
Our community looking for the place to go for entertainment, go for celebrate their life in a weekend. It's very stressful life when they have a hard working week and they haven't have their environment there to celebrate their weekend, chilling with friends, families. But I thought of this idea, so my fear is just to keep this business running smoothly, not to have no fight, no arguments, no shootings. Those are the kind of thing, because normal people comes and once they keep drinking, they become abnormal. That is my greatest fears, So to keep them calm and peaceful and loyal, respectful, that is top things owning this business. Yes.
I was full-time for the city. I was getting paid $23 an hour. I had a pension, benefits, health insurance. I was in a union, and I gave that all up to chase my dream of being my own boss. Like I said, I didn't really have any intentions and never looked at it as that way. But when I realized I was onto something, I said, well, why? Either I'm in 100% or I'm not going to do it. If you want to do something with your life, I don't care if it's whether you want to start a business, you want to move to the West Coast, you want to travel the world, do this, do that, just do it. And as cliche as it sounds, you only live once. why, like, you have to live for yourself. I find strength through other people, whether it's through, you know, people I know personally or a story I see online. And it brings me back down to reality to be like, you know what, like, we got this, you know, this is gonna work.
There's some roads that many don't see, so I'm gonna take that in order to plot a course that's made, create the roadmap, go-getter, trendsetter, strive to get better, don't give up the ship, hazard declared, never let up, so I'm in the box, building some iron empires, so when I retire, I have what my heart's desire, reaching for heights as higher than my spirit can reach by flying, a breakthrough's coming real soon, one can't deny it.
There was this kid that we all knew who bullied this kid after school. I would always catch him hanging with his crew, dressed fresh, everything he had new. They didn't know that he was dealing with abuse. Had to go home to it after school. Father went around and his mother was ruthless. He had shoes cause he saw the drugs she was doing. Went to school to get away from pollution. Smoking the air, beer cans, foul music. So when he went to school and saw this little goofy kid that seemed to live better than he did, it made him mad. This kid had what he couldn't. He ran his pockets for money and he took it. Until one day he wasn't really looking. That little goofy kid in the hoodie stood in his face and started shooting. Tell me, what are we doing?
We need to stop the violence. You know, we have lost a whole generation of young men, sons, brothers, fathers, cousins, grandsons, nephews. Enough is enough. You know, I mean, these young men that we have lost over the senseless violence, they could have been leaders in the future. You know, they had a lot going for them. And I know my son had a lot because he had many talents. But as a community, we have to come together. No matter how bad it gets, we still have to remain positive. We still have to stick together because at the end of the day, God is our judge and jury.
It's all about harnessing your craft and giving you something to do that's different from the norm of what's going on in Erie right now. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the climate of the shootings. You know, a lot of people out here on heroin and all types of other drugs and a lot of just nonsense, violence and all that. You come to the studio, man, you know, record something, get it off your chest. I may have diverted you from doing something stupid in that moment.
I worry about my community. I worry about my mother. I worry about my sister who wears the hijab. I worry about the mosque. I mean, it's scary. I think we're in a scary time that we have put such a negative, we have put people in such a negative platform to try to spread the message of hatred. And at the end of the day, this is my community and I want the best of my community. The best thing is that we love to offer love. We love to offer culture. And that's what we bring to Erie.
It takes a lot to make a city amazing, and it takes a lot of people. I feel like we're halfway there. We've got a foot in both lines of being a big business town and a thriving cultural center. I feel like we just got to pick a lane here, and I'm kind of leaning towards the thriving cultural center. I really like the things that are happening with the people who are working on making it a better place here.
I needed a place to smoke cigarettes and write, and my poetry friends needed a place to read poetry. So, you know, we opened up our doors and people came. I guess people coming was the achievement. You know, for a moment, our community achieved something that was, you know, we drew a national spotlight to Erie. To this day, we still have poets coming from all over the country sharing, you know, what's happening at the hall.
I would just say, hey, you know, if you have a passion for it, then go for it. Because if you have a passion for anything, it will work. Will it always be easy? Absolutely not. But nothing is. You know, nothing really is. So, yeah, I'd say go for it. If you have passion, follow the passion.
this was the perfect place for me to start my life as a man. It was affordable. I found a good job. I made some good contacts and things like that. And I wanted to grow as myself, and sometimes you have to leave where you're from and go somewhere else to fully get that. So Erie gave that to me. I'm very appreciative of that.
We live in a town where a lot of bands do covers. Not trying to knock that, not trying to knock anybody's hustle, but it's like, who are you?
I was trapped across the world for 1 day or 1 second. I was trapped across the world.
When you do something with heart and with love and passion, the doors just open up for you, man. You know, if you're just always driven by material things or money, which are all nice things, you know, you kind of lose your way. And I've seen a lot of rappers in my circle lose their way. You know, like they're rapping because they want to get a big ass check, or they're rapping because, you know, it brings them women. They're rapping because it gets them downtown in the clubs for free. And it's like, well, what happened to just rapping because you feel a certain way and you want to get it out?
You are the thorn in my side, the stone in my sandal. I burn candles at both ends, drifting in wind, crystalline. Talkless clocks tick while watch pots are whistling. My only nights be the wings on these feet, till these deities defeat me like Achilles. That day I too will bite the dust. Look crust in my eyes, Sandman sleeping, seeping counter wolves of sheep's clothing. Please bring me dreams, he sends omens. Next time we pour out a little liquor, pray to stop the flow. 1,000 drops of wear stone, blood is thicker. Why must we come to blows? Those in glass or bowls throw stones at these homeless poems. Plenty pray for privacy, but silicone and clones none unknowns. No man is an island. I walk like Nubians, Egyptians, Bedouin, scriptures, lest veterans forget again. Now, how can a drowned man come around and grandstand? Name it better than nouns can. Thou sand, thou sand, thou sand, thou sand, thou sand, thou sand.
Free from these chains, all that were, they were blinding me. I never knew that I could be free from these chains.
We go through an entire range of emotions every single day, up and down, up and down, up and down, some of us more than others. And I want people to realize that it is absolutely okay to feel that way, and that we are human, and that we are here together to support each other through this range of emotions. You step into a character when you have a lot of fear, and me getting up there and shaking a bingo flap or like slapping on my stomach and being silly is my way of expressing to anybody, especially the younger females, that this is okay. It's be silly, like do whatever you want. You don't have to worry about being objectified 24/7, and even if you are, own it yourself, dude.
And your biggest test and your biggest enemy is yourself. Because when you go out there and you're in that ring and you're standing face to face with a man that you ain't ever seen before, and you're getting ready to throw punches and kicks at each other, the body and the mind and the emotions go through all kind of chaos and turmoil. And you have to conquer all of that, you know, and then try to have to conquer him. So they're built in.
Now is the time. 1,000 mind creates a breakthrough, changing our lives.
I'm never one to fit a pattern that keeps on holding. And all these ceilings that I've shattered, but I keep on going. I'm far from the edge of what I can do. Till there's nothing left, I keep on till breakthrough.